Welcome to the Explainer. There's a quiet revolution going on, and it's happening right under our feet. It's a plan to rebuild the physical world around us. Our cell service, our data storage, you name it, but this time from the ground up. This is the story of DePIN, the People's Network.
But let's start with the question I think we've all asked ourselves. Why does it feel like we're paying an arm and a leg for our phone and internet, but the service feels like it's from 10 years ago? Dropped calls, dead zones, those mystery fees on the bill. It's a universal frustration, and it turns out there's a really big reason for it.
Okay, so let's get right into it. To really understand the solution DePIN offers, we first have to understand the problem. And that problem is the giant global telecom monopoly. We're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar industry that has, well, completely stalled out. I mean, look at this number. The industry is worth a mind-boggling $1.7 trillion. It's supposed to be the backbone of our digital lives. But here's the crazy part. Underneath that massive valuation, the whole system's kind of broken. It's trapped in a vicious cycle of debt and stagnation.
And you can see why right here. Just look at the debt these giants are carrying. We're talking over $100 billion each. And that's not money they're using for innovation or building cool new things. Nope. That's money they're spending just to patch up and maintain an ancient, top-down system that just isn't built for the modern world.
So what's the result of that massive debt? Well, this. Their growth is projected at a tiny 2.8% a year. In a lot of places, that's actually less than inflation. What that really means is they're not growing at all. They're basically treading water. And guess who pays the price for that? We do. And this is the core of the issue. The old way of building is just outrageously expensive. A single old-school cell tower costs at a minimum $200,000 to put up. And that's before you even think about the years of permits, land leases, and constant maintenance. It's a model that just can't scale. It can't keep up. If you're finding this kind of breakdown interesting and you want to understand more of these huge shifts that are happening, do us a favor. Take a second to like this explainer, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and share it with a friend. It really helps us keep digging deep into these topics. So if the old model is broken, what's next? Well, this is where the hero of our story comes in. It's a totally different way of thinking. What if, instead of these giant, faceless corporations, we, you and me, the people, could actually build and own the networks we use every single day? And that's the big idea behind DePIN. It stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. And what it does is it uses blockchain technology to let communities, regular people, build, manage, and actually have ownership over real-world stuff. It's not just a tweak, it's a massive power shift away from a few monopolies and into the hands of millions. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. How on earth can a community build a global network without the billions of dollars that a Verizon has? Well, the answer is this absolutely brilliant economic engine called the DePIN flywheel. And it totally flips the old way of doing things on its head.
And here's how that whole thing works. Instead of spending billions up front on giant towers, a DePIN project starts by giving people crypto tokens as a reward for setting up small, cheap pieces of hardware, like a little 5G hotspot in their window. As more people do it, the network just grows, person by person. Then, real customers are attracted to this new, growing network. They pay for the service, which creates real value, which makes the token rewards even stronger, which, you guessed it, attracts even more people to build out the network. It's this incredible self-powering loop.
I just love this analogy from Masari Research. It's perfect. DePIN is like a heavy merry-go-round. It takes a big push to get it started, that's the token incentives, but once it's spinning, its own momentum just keeps it going. It's how they solve that massive startup cost problem that crushes the big guys.
Okay, so this next part is the secret sauce that makes the whole system work long-term. It's called the burn and mint equilibrium. It sounds complicated, but it's pretty simple. When customers use the network and pay their bill, they burn tokens, which takes them out of circulation. At the very same time, the network mints or creates new tokens to reward the people who are running the hardware. This creates this perfect, transparent link between how much the network is being used and how much its token is worth.
So, this all sounds great in theory, right? But is it actually working out there in the real world? Oh yeah. DePIN networks are live right now, and they are already putting up some incredible results that are seriously challenging the old guard. Let's look at a few.
Probably the best known example is Helium Mobile. They're offering phone plans for as little as $20 a month. They even have a limited free plan. And they can do that because they've built their own 5G network using thousands of these little community-owned hotspots. So when your phone is near one, it jumps onto that super cheap people-powered network instead of the expensive old one.
And this chart, wow. This really just lays out how wildly different the economics are. A legacy tower can cost up to $500,000 and take years to get online. A DePIN node? A couple $1,000s, and anyone with an internet connection can set it up in a few minutes. Plus, and this is huge, because it's a decentralized mesh, there's no single point of failure. It's just faster, cheaper, and way more resilient. It's a whole new ballgame.
And this isn't just about phones, not by a long shot. This model is being used for so many things. You've got World Mobile using it to bring internet to rural Africa. Filecoin is building a decentralized competitor to Amazon's cloud storage. HiveMapper is building a better version of Google Maps by rewarding drivers with tokens for their dashcam footage. And Render is basically creating a global supercomputer for AI by linking together people's graphics cards. It's amazing stuff.
I mean, these are genuinely world-changing ideas. If you want us to keep breaking down more stuff like this, please hit that like button. And more importantly, drop a comment and tell us what we should tackle in our next explainer. We'd love to hear from you.
All right, let's zoom out for a second and look at the really big picture here. Because this shift to DePIN, it's not happening in a vacuum. It's actually part of a much, much bigger historical pattern.
You know, they say history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And you can really see that here. Technology seems to swing back and forth like a pendulum. We went from these huge, centralized mainframe computers to decentralized PCs on every desk. Then, we swung back to centralization with the cloud and giants like Amazon and Google. DePIN, well, it looks like the next logical swing of that pendulum, back toward a more democratic, decentralized world.
And believe me, this is not some tiny niche crypto trend. The markets that DePIN is aiming for are just absolutely colossal. We're talking about multiple industries, each worth over $1 trillion. Telecom, data storage, the Internet of Things, all of them are just begging for this kind of disruption.
And that's exactly why you see huge organizations like the World Economic Forum projecting that the DePIN market could be worth $3.5 trillion just by 2028. This is about so much more than just a cheaper phone bill. This is about completely rewiring the physical infrastructure of our world. Which really just leaves us with one last big, provocative thought. By giving power back to individuals, by letting us own the very infrastructure we depend on, DePIN is offering a powerful new way forward. So, the question is, are we watching the beginning of the end for the monopolies that have defined our world for so long? I guess only time will tell.